Welcome to another edition of the free-to-play, well, mostly free-to-play series that I'm doing here. I'm not against paying for some of the events they have as soon as the game's out of beta. I have a feeling they're going to do another collection wipe when the game goes from open beta to the live version, and we will thusly lose collections, so I don't think it's worth spending all the money on the gems just yet. So while I'm doing the free-to-play series, I'm saving up 36,000 gold. I'm at 20,400 now. And today's quest is going to be for casting 20 red or green spells. Now, you don't have to play a red and a green deck. You can play a red one or a green one. It'll have the exact same effect. But while we have this opportunity, let's take a quick review of the Primal Fury red and green welcome deck. Full disclosure, I am terrible. I am terrible at playing this deck. I don't know what happens to it. I play it and you'll see, I just can't win. It comes with 3 shocks, so a pretty staple red card here. 1 red does 2 damage to any target. 3 Llanowar Elves, 1 green. It's a 1/1 elf creature, Druid. It taps for 1 green mana, very useful. 3 of a lightning strike, a 2 or a 1 and a red, and does 3 damage to any target. 2 Raptor Hatchlings, which is a 2 casting 1/1. When it is dealt damage, create a 3/3 green dinosaur creature token with trample. Super useful. These end up being pretty sticky. Nobody ever wants to kill them. 2 Druids of the Cowl, which is a 2 casting 1/3. Taps for 1 green mana. Lots of ramps so far. 2 Frenzied Raptors, a 3 casting 4/2. Which, if you get the Knight of the Stampede down, this is a 1 casting 4/2. 2 Colossal Majesties, very useful for some extra card draw. Now, just note with Colossal Majesty, it's a 3 casting enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, you must. This is not an optional card draw. 3 Elvish Rejuvenators. This is great, like removal-proof ramp. So you cast for 3 casting, get a 1/1 elf. When he enters the battlefield, look at the top 5 cards, and you can put a land card from among them into the battlefield tapped. So he doesn't have to tap for that mana, he just brings a land out. But in those, 4 other cards you have to put on the bottom of your library, sometimes there's some pretty good stuff that you lose. Especially in a deck like this where there's a lot of 1 and 2 ofs. If there was like 4 Carnage Tyrants, it wouldn't be such a big deal. But sometimes you might drop a good card. 3 Draconic Disciples for 3 casting, you get a 2/2. Now it is a green and a red, so sometimes it doesn't always happen on the 3rd turn. But for the most part, it's pretty useful. Taps for 1 mana of any color. And then down the road, you can pay 7 and tap it, sacrifice it, and create a 5/5 red dragon creature token with flying. And just you can't use it to pay for itself in that case because it does have to tap. But I've actually gotten these to pop before, and that's kind of fun. So it's cool. 1 Needletooth Raptor. Whenever Needletooth Raptor is dealt damage, it deals 5 damage to target creature and opponent controls. That's really awesome. 1 Goreclaw, a 4 casting, awesome card. Creature spells you cast with power 4 or greater cost 2 less to cast. When Goreclaw attacks, each creature you control with power 4 or greater gets +1/+1 and gains trample until end of turn. Now, not each other attacking creature, each other creature. So say you play a Goreclaw and you play like a Needletooth Raptor. No, not this bad example. You play Goreclaw and then you play a Charging Tuskodon, which has trample but not haste, so you can't attack with him. You could upgrade this deck by putting Thuds in there, which is a 1 casting red card. You sacrifice a creature and it'll do its damage to somebody else when it becomes a 5/5. You could do that with Goreclaw. Point is, other creatures don't have to attack to get that buff. 2 Knights of the Stampede, a 4 casting dinosaur spells you cast 2 less. Yay! And it's a 2/4 Knight. So this is very useful in this deck, especially if you get some ramp. If you ramp into this, you could have like a 3rd turn Charging Monstrosaur. It's pretty awesome. It's a 5 casting, 5/5 with trample and haste. It's a game ender, unless you're playing a lot of the black decks that you see that just murder him, but whatever. We'll check that out later. Charging Tuskodon again. If Charging Tuskodon would deal damage to a player, it deals double that damage instead, and it's got trample. It's super awesome. So if they block with a 3/3, it'll still sneak into the opponent for 2. Etali Primal Storm. Whenever Etali Primal Storm attacks, exile the top card of each player's library. You may cast any number of non-land cards exiled this way without paying their mana cost. Special note, that card stays in exile. Carnage Tyrant is the game winner. It's a 6 casting, can't be countered, trample, hexproof. If you've got Goreclaw out, it is a 4 casting. If you've got Goreclaw and a Knight of the Stampede out, it is plays for 2. So yeah, there should be 4 of these. I'd run 4 Goreclaws in here, really. I mean, even though it's legendary, just do it. He's a fat target, and they always try and remove him. So just drop 4 of them in there, and then all these creatures cost a whole lot less. And if you've got your Colossal Majesty out and any ramp, you're playing a bunch. It's pretty cool. Comes with a Silverclad Ferocidons. Say that 3 times real fast. Whenever Silverclad Ferocidons is dealt damage, each opponent sacrifices a permanent, so they typically don't block this. It's, but it's 7 casting. It's hard to get out. And a Pelakka Wurm for 4 and 3 green. It's a 7/7 with trample. When it enters the battlefield, you do gain 7 life. When it dies, draw a card. You could probably put a couple more of those in here. There is no Galta, and you do get a Galta in the welcome deck, so you might want to throw Galta in here too. And a Banefire. Just 1, just in case you need one. It does X and a red for that much damage, and then if X is 5 or more, the spell can't be countered and the damage can't be prevented. I love this card. This is finally Red's answer to counter spells. 9 mountains, 10 forests, 1 Rootbound Crag, which comes into play untapped if you have a mountain or a forest, and 4 Timber Gorges. If you like this deck or this style or dinosaurs in general, upgrade the land base first. Probably it might be your best bet. But let's play the deck as it comes out of the box, and let's just see if we can't find a win condition. I have discovered that for me playing this deck, the biggest thing I can do is know how and when to mulligan. If you don't have a lot of ramp, or if you don't have any early plays, it's best to mulligan. Once, you could get hosed with a deck like this. So, we'll see what we get. This is terrific. This is good. I like this. I'm going to keep it. And I'm on the draw, so I may draw into a land I want. And then I could do a turn 2 Elvish Rejuvenator. Oh, and I can't. I'm going to still go for it anyway. So I don't want to play the Timber Gorge just yet, because if I happen to draw into a land, I can play my Rejuvenator and hopefully get a mountain out of the deal. No matter what land, I may draw right here. And it did not work out, so I've got to play the Timber Gorge anyways. No big deal. We're not going to attack with our Llanowar Elves. That's our money guy right here. It looks like we're playing against green. This may not be a green-white deck. It might just be green, and he might be doing the ramp. Yeah, it looks like it's just mono green. We'll drop a Rejuvenator. We'll get some land out. Or, oh, you gotta be kidding me. So see this? There's not a single land in the next 5 cards. But we lost a Draconic Disciple. That would have helped out. Colossal Majesty. He's playing something similar with a lot more of his ramp out early. Okay, so let's see where we're at. Is it worth shocking his Llanowar Elves? He's already got 4 forests down, so I don't think that's going to be worth it. And anytime I use my Llanowar Elves now, he can draw a card. This is going to be strong against me. So he's got his ramp out early. His deck kind of hit everything he had to hit. I'm going to do Colossal Majesty because he can't draw a card off of it. Although he could have apparently drawn a card off of the Llanowar Elves. And I'm not going to attack because I will get killed. Oh, that isn't the mana ability. Alright, so Llanowar Elves are safe because it is a mana ability. And he's got his Dreadmaw down. That's terrific. I believe we're toast. Like I said, this game is difficult. I don't have enough damage to kill his Colossal Dreadmaw, and if I start blocking, it's curtains for me. I'm 3 turns away from the Pelakka Wurm at best, so let's just see how this goes. Even if I shocked his Llanowar Elves. he would have still been able to cast this Colossal Dreadmaw. So he hit his ramp drops perfectly. If he drops a Carnage Tyrant, the game is pretty much over. I don't have enough red mana to hit him for 5 and block for 1, so I have no choice but to take all of this damage or 1 less. I could block the Runic Almosaur. There's the big boy. That's going to end this game. This is a great card. This is Ghalta, Primal Hunger. It's pretty much a 2-casting 12/12 trample. It costs 10 and 2 green, but it costs X less. Your go. Alright, you get muted. Have fun with that. And I could pick off some of these little guys, but, you know, let's do it. Just actually use our cards this game. Hey. A Charging Monstrosaur would run right into Ghalta and get chewed on. That's just terrific. Although now it can block his Runic Almosaur. He won't attack with it, though. District Guide is an okay substitution for, like, Elvish Rejuvenator, but Elvish Rejuvenator puts the land into the battlefield. District Guide lets you search your library, so whichever of those you feel is better off, you know, you make that decision. So that's a loss, but again, the quest I have today is simply to play cards, not necessarily to win, though winning is much funner than losing. Let's see where we're at. 5 out of 20, so let's do a couple more of these and see if we can't get that quest done. I'd like to sneak away with a win. If we can get some ramp like what our opponent demonstrated there, then we would be better off. I feel like our Elvish Rejuvenator showed us 5 cards and 0 of them were land. It's pretty bad. Such is life. Here we go again. So we're on the play. We don't have a turn 1 turn. We don't have a turn 2 play because we don't have a green mana source for our Druid of the Cowl. This is a mulligan hand. It's okay, but we're not going to get the cards we need for 3 turns, and it's going to slow us down too much. Isn't this just terrific? So go down to 5, and we have to keep it. Now we don't have a play for 3 turns anyways. Pelakka Wurm's okay to hold on to for a while. Because I do have the Rejuvenator coming out soon, so I don't mind drawing a Pelakka Wurm. And we'll drop a Timber Gorge. It looks like our opponent had to mulligan down to 6 as well, so it's not like it's too much of a detriment to the game. I don't really mind going down to 5. I don't like it. Especially against this deck. Well, we're toast. This is going to be mono blue tempo. And we're gonna lose. We may have another cat appearance today. How exciting. Sometimes he'll like claw me. It's pretty funny. Funny for not me. Non-creature, right? Yeah, so he can't take any of my cards with that freebooter. So joke's on him. I've got nothing. Ah. Oh boy. Let's do the Rejuvenator. Hopefully we get a mountain. Again, what is with the mana splits today? Look at this. Joke's on me. This isn't mono blue tempo. This is this the deck that one of the welcome decks? I feel like I should nuke the Storm Tamer just to get the counterspell off the table. But I think he's going to have a bigger creature, and that does 3. And he's going to have bigger creatures in here to worry about than a Storm Tamer. Although the Storm Tamer can counterspell. Maybe I'll save a shock for it. Boy, this deck is just so slow. It's just so slow. There's no plays. There just aren't any plays. It doesn't matter if I attack or not. He's got quite a bit of stuff going on. 2 Storm Tamer. So this is a creature counter spell. You can counter a spell or ability that targets a permanent he controls, or a creature, only a creature, or him. So it's not like an actual counter spell, but it's enough of a counter spell to get in the way of anything that I want to do. Wow. I just can't do... I'm going to lose 3, 4, 5, 6... I'm going to lose the game and not been able to play anything but 1 Elvish Rejuvenator and a Lightning Strike. And that's typical of my experience with this deck. It is tough to play this deck. I did another video of a green-red deck that actually works. It's a little more ramp-friendly. I think in the collection you get 4 Charging Monstrosaurs anyway. I threw them in there. And even Ghalta might be kind of risky, because if this was a Ghalta, I couldn't play him. If I win because my opponent has quit, that is a sneaky way to do it. It might be the only way to win with this deck. I don't think I've ever won with it. And that'll do it for this game. But again, my quest is to play cards, and that didn't go very well as far as playing cards went either. Would I get 2? So, let's see here. Wow. So you'd be better off, if this was your daily quest, you would be way better off just playing a mono red, mono green deck or something like that instead of this deck. I don't like it, and I think to upgrade it you would just have to turn it into a different deck altogether. I don't think this deck in its current format is really upgradable. I mean, you could leave the Llanowar Elves and you could leave Goreclaw, but alright, this looks promising. This looks promising, and we get to go first. So our opponent's mulligan, taking mulligans down to 5 cards. He might stay there. He still hasn't picked yet. Okay, there we go. So he's down to 5 cards. We're going to do our turn 1 Llanowar Elves. Alright, this is good. So we've got another mana source, and we can go into a turn 2 Colossal Majesty. And if we should get another mana source next turn that we can play, like a regular mountain, oh, there we go. We can drop a Goreclaw. Now we're cooking. We're slowed down. Well, see, so, okay, here's the Goreclaw effect. Creature spells with power 4 or greater cost less to cast. So even though I've only got 1 red mana source and not enough mana to regularly cast the Charging Tuskodon, I can play the Timber Gorge. It comes into play tapped. And then I still have to wait next turn for the second red mana source. That is fabulous. But I'm ready. If I had another red mana source, I could have hit him with, I could have dropped this Tuskodon this turn, and hopefully drawn into a creature with haste, and really kind of, okay, well he's seen enough with just Goreclaw. And that's a way to get a win, but again, I'm not really looking for wins today. I'm trying to get my quest done. So a couple more games just like that, I will have the quest done. We got time for one more. It's been kind of quick plays. I don't see this deck being involved in longer games. In longer games, a lot of times you will get eradicated by a creature with flying. There's no Bladewing. Varric's Bladewing isn't in this deck. Could be, easily. But he's not. So here we go. I've got a hand and some plays, but no mana ramp. But that's okay, because I've got this Raptor Hatchling who will, if he's a removal magnet, so they like to exile him, they like to murder him or destroy him outright. And he's only a 1/1. If he takes any damage, I get a 3/3 out of the deal, so it's a pretty powerful early drop. And then I can move right into a 4/2. That's kind of scary. If he doesn't have any plays, if he's got plays, then it's a little different. But any 2/2 with first strike takes him out nicely. I mean, this is a turn 4 play waiting to happen. That'd be kind of cool if you Goreclaw into a Etali the Primal Storm. Or include, a couple more Elder Dinosaurs. It'd be pretty awesome. And there's a chance I draw into a Llanowar Elf. So that would be kind of fun to drop a Forest, drop a Llanowar Elf, and then turn 2 I could play the Hatchling anyways, or even the Frenzied Raptor, and then play Goreclaw. Now, in order for Goreclaw to kick in, he does have to attack, so it's more helpful if some creatures have haste. This opponent is taking his sweet time looking at his hand and everything. This isn't... I don't like to win this way. These aren't... There's no honor in this victory. Oh well. Gold is gold. I try and get my daily quests done every day, and at least 5 wins. I want to get through all the big chunks of gold I can, and get that one. Okay, he mulliganed down to 0 cards. That is... Oh, okay. Okay, we'll just play this game out and see what could happen if nobody messes with the deck. That's what could happen. I got one card played anyway, so that helps me with that deck. Alright, let's try and get one complete game where we can demonstrate something this deck can do. Either we lose and don't have a play, or we win and our opponent doesn't have a play. There is no in between. And that's mostly been my experience with this thing. Although that's 2 wins I don't remember having before. And again, here we go. So now it's our turn to mulligan down to 0 cards. So this isn't going to work. We don't have any Llanowar Elves or any early ramp. So we've got a mulligan. I don't hate this. 1 green mana source and we can drop a Disciple. I'm going to keep this one. I'm going to keep it. Yep, and then we're going to get a perfect. So, okay, well the vampires are going to overrun us next turn anyway. So whatever. I'm going to save the shock for Najani's Pride Mate. Or, oh my goodness. This is not looking good. It's turn 2. I've lost hope already. Oh no, not Legion's Landing. We can't recover from that. Does he play vampires here? And he's got his Radiant Destiny down. For all his vampires now get +1/+1. And as soon as he gets the City's Blessing, which will be in about 2 turns, they will all get Vigilance as well. And I've got a bad feeling that's just going to be an insurmountable thing to overcome. We are going to lose. He's got another. Oh, of course he does. Why wouldn't he? I'm taking 3, and he's going to gain 3. There's no way I'm blocking with my Disciple. Okay, so I've got 5 mana to play with. Alright, so I'm going to play my Needletooth Raptor, and that should slow down his attack a little bit. So I can do 5 damage to one of his creatures. Of course, he's a big fat murder target as well, and since he's playing black... Oh boy. There's the City's Blessing. That's great. Oh good. This'll work. I've made that mistake before too. I've attacked into a Needletooth Raptor and I've lost my biggest creature and I went, wait, what happened? Oh yeah, we're doing this. I'll kill his Legionnaire for sure. We'll do the Monstrosaur for sure. And then we'll drop the Rejuvenator here pretty soon. Or we'll save him for way later. And he can tip 4 to take 5 all day. He's gained so much health. That's not going to work out for me very well. Let's make our dinosaurs cheaper. And then I can save my Silverclad Ferocidons to use as a blocker, hopefully. Let's see if I can't sort of stem the bleeding a little bit. I gotta think he just keeps on the pressure and attacks and attacks and attacks. Oh, what do we got here? Mavono, the Butcher of Magan. Pay 7 life and destroy target non-land permanent. That's terrific. That's gotta go. We can't have that. So let's do the Ferocidons first. Attack with a Charging Monstrosaur, because I think he's going to block. He's going to pay 7 life and remove the Silverclads, hopefully. Doesn't quite accomplish the goal I want it to of doing some damage to him. We've got blockers. Okay, okay. But now he's up against the a decision to gain life or not. This is scary for him. So he's going to gain some life to be able to use Vona the Butcher over there. If he blocks them both, this guy still tramples through. So he's right about, there's not too much point of blocking them both. But now he's at 8. Is he really going to go down to 1 to kill my Etali? I wouldn't do that. He doesn't have the life gain from creatures entering the battlefield. He may attack first, go up to 10. Boy, he's put himself in kind of a tricky spot, hasn't he? And of course I'm going to block because I need to remove his creatures. So I attack with my Charging Monstrosaur. He gang blocks with his 3 vampires. I can kill 2 of them. And he can gain enough life back to use... I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to attack him with all 3 of those. He has to gang block my Monstrosaur or die. It's perfect. See, he's figured it out. He's like, wait a minute. Then I can't remove something next turn, and I'm in a worse position. This is a good game. Alright, this is working out. I like this. So he's going to gain 6 and lose 1. He's going to go up to 8 again. But he's going to lose his army. Yes! What are the odds that he just drew Call to the Feast? Or Attention. Awesome. It's good for this deck. I like that. So he could gain a life, but he can't. Oh, that's the one that comes with the deck. Oh, this is good. He could, in theory, he could give Vona +2/+2 and kill me. I bought this Ajani deck when Core 19 came out. So he gains life. He's dead if he uses it. If he attacks, I just block. She doesn't trample. Just Vigilance. Vigilance is still nice. And Lifelink. That is unfortunate. Well, it was a closer game until the Johnny came out. So I think I've got to keep the pressure on here, or else this game's going to get out of hand. A Johnny gets 2 loyalty, and he gains life for each creature he controls. Attacking with anything but my Monstrosaur doesn't do anything at all. So I've got to attack with my Monstrosaur. Question is, what is a better target? And I think for him, his life is a better target for now. because he needs to block to be able to use this skill. And so if he takes this damage, he can't start destroying my field just yet. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. At least that's what I'm seeing here. He could... there's a lot he could do. See how Vigilance is in black text on this card, and it's in blue text on this card? That tells me that there's a Conclave Tribunal. There's the game. The Vigilance being in blue tells me that it's coming from another skill or ability. And he's gained life. That's terrific. Just gets X +1/+1 counters. So we'll block with the Enraging Beast, and we'll get a 3/3 with Trample. It's not going to do us any good. We can't sneak through. This is where having a Colossal Majesty the past few turns would have been nice. We'll play our last night of the Stampede, and we will lose the game with some dignity, hopefully. See, the only wins we got were when our opponent couldn't do anything. And we just won that way. It's really quite terrible. Yep, that's the right play. And then next turn, or maybe he's got a Call to the Feast, he'll do the ultimate there. Make a big creature, or a big flyer. That's the game right there. He just flies over me and gets me. And this is also something that will happen with decks, with this deck or decks like this, is late game you start drawing all your mana ramp, and it doesn't do you any good. It's just a waste. You die. That's a strange move. He could have put those on his flyer, and then yeah, you know what? No, don't block. You block, and you block, because he doesn't trample. So that's a weird thing to do. You want to give your bonuses to creatures that will get through, like flyers or tramplers. Though gaining 21 life a turn is pretty awesome. Alright, we can see how this game's going to go. But again, my quest is to play cards, so I'm going to string this out as long as possible just to get some card plays in there. This is great. This is a good deck. This is fun. This is some good vampire synergy. Yep. He's got Alinda the Dusk Rose, so now anytime any other creature dies, mine or his, so he's attacking with his 2/2, and well, I'm dead, clearly, but I'll just watch, check this out. This is fun. So we'll block with a 2/4 here, and then his vampire token is going to die, and so are my Llanowar Elves. And Alinda's going to get 2 counters because 2 other creatures died. Not cool. And then when she dies, he creates X tokens equal to her power. So that's pretty fun. And just for fun, we'll Lightning Strike, and she's gonna become a 5/5. So it's a cool deck. It's got good synergy. His, not mine. Mine's terrible. Doesn't have any synergy at all, and all I draw is land. No. I will not give up. I want to see how big Alinda the Dusk Rose can get. That's what I want to do. My wife's over there. She says, "Never give up, never surrender." Alright, I'm going for pride. And remember, I've got to play cards. So playing a shock on a token isn't just like chintzy and like, well, I want to do this anyway. Hey, I'm trying to get a quest done over here. Doing my quest at 1 health is the same as doing it at 20 health. It's a Vampire Knight. It's a Vampire token. Of course it is. I need to get some Radiant Destinies. This is going to be a great synergy card coming up. And this is the game, so I've got a block to live, and he's just worn me down with I mean, quite frankly, better cards. Like I said, this Welcome deck, I don't think it's very good. I have not had very much luck with it. I would scrap it and use something like my other red-green aggro deck, and here's, 10 turns too late as a Carnage Tyrant. That could have been super useful instead of the Charging Monstrosaur when I had him out. So 4 Carnage Tyrants, it's hexproof. So he can't Conclave Tribunal it, he can't do anything to it, he can't touch it. So it sneaks through for all that damage that the Monstrosaur couldn't sneak through for. Would have won. He's at 128. Go Muppet. He's doing really well. I'm blocking the Paladin of the Bloodstained just for fun, and we're going to lose. So that's how it goes. Negative 34. That's a record for me. It's pretty good. But I think I made some headway on my quest. I lost again. No big deal. I don't care if I lose. I'm trying a thing. I'm trying real hard to get my quest done, and that brings me up to 21,250 gold. In a little over a week, I'm going to have enough to open 36 packs, and that's just what I'm going to do, so it'll be a lot of fun. Stick around for that. Don't forget to subscribe. There should be a button around here somewhere to click for that. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.